is somewhere to begin. A search for something worth believing in. If changes are to come, there are things that must be done, and a song is somewhere to begin. People say to me, oh, you gotta be crazy. How can you dream in times like these? Don't you read the news? Don't you know the score? How can you dream when so many others grieve? People say to me, what kind of fool believes that a dream will make a difference in the end? By way of a reply, I say a fool such as I, who sees a dream as somewhere to begin. A dream is somewhere to begin, a search for something worth believing in. If changes are to come, there are things that must be done, and a dream is somewhere to begin. People say to me, oh, you gotta be crazy. How can you love in times like these? Don't you read the news? Don't you know the score? How can you love when so many others grieve? People say to me, what kind of fool believes that love will make a difference in the end? And by way of a reply, I say a fool such as I, who sees love as somewhere to begin. Love is somewhere to begin, a search for something worth believing in. If changes are to come, there are things that must be done, and love is somewhere, and a dream is somewhere, and a song is somewhere to begin.
Thank you, Cindy. That was beautiful. Good morning, everyone. I'm Nancy Ennis, and I want to welcome you to Unity of Charlotte today and to the contemplative portion of our service. So let us begin our time together with our statement of faith. Together. There is one presence and one power in my life and in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. So centered in our faith, today is Surge Sunday. This is our service today. We call it the Surge because it's related to the second wave spirituality that's coming into planet Earth. It's a time that Chris Sadi calls the second wave, and Andrew Harvey calls sacred activism. What we do on our Surge Sundays is we light the candles to represent the core and the heart of the Surge, which is our love for God, our passion for justice in our world, and then love in action that will bring it forth. So let us light our candles. And today let's do it in a personal way. This candle represents our love for God. And as we light it, let's say together, I light this candle for my love of God. Together. I light this candle for my love of God. Excuse me. This candle represents our passion for justice. And let's say that ourselves. I light this candle for my passion for justice. I light this candle for my passion for justice. And this candle represents love in action, how the two come together in our world today. So to say this together, I light this candle for love in action. I light this candle for love in action. So let us join together in welcoming in the Holy Presence and acknowledging that the presence of God was with us as we sing Surely the Presence.
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel His mighty power and her grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel her mighty power and His grace. I can hear the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
Today's word is free. I experience true freedom as I awaken to my spiritual nature. Today, I stop placing limits on my ability to live the life of my dreams. I start by taking an honest look at what I believe about myself. I identify false, destructive thoughts and sweep them out of my mind. This cleansing reveals the beautiful being I am, made in the image and likeness of God. What a breath of fresh air. I revel in true freedom as I embrace my spiritual identity. I soar like an eagle, catching currents of divine energy. As others see my strength and agility, I effortlessly attract my good. I am limitless. Life becomes sweeter and brighter as I ascend into this new understanding of myself. I become more prosperous, healthy, and happy as I embrace my spiritual truth. Now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. 2 Corinthians 3:17. My name is Lana Moorhead. I will be your prayer chaplain today. I will be back in the prayer room after the service for anyone who would like to have prayer.
It may well be that our spiritual paths have been traversed by others who preceded us into new thought. I remind you, this is a young spiritual movement, very young. You found it, and it found you. You demonstrate the courage of your convictions day in and day out. The truth that continually speaks to your heart and awakens your consciousness to deeper understanding, propels you on this wonderful spiritual journey. In your own mind, say with me, I have the courage of my convictions. I am strong in my faith. Each of us enters where our deepening understanding takes us. It's what lights our paths. Take these few moments of silence in. Ponder the truth of the courage you bring to this journey. I have the courage of my convictions. I know it is done unto me as I believe, and so it is.
Spirit, we are in your presence. Fill us with your power. Live inside of me. Welcome, Holy Spirit. We are in your presence. Fill us with your power. Live inside of me. You're the living water, never dying fountain, comforter and counselor. Take complete control. Welcome, Holy Spirit. We are in your presence. Fill us with your power. Live inside of me. Welcome, Holy Spirit. We are in your presence. Fill us with your power. Live inside of me. You're the living water, never drying fountain, Counselor, take complete control. Welcome, Holy Spirit, we are in your presence. Fill us with your power, live inside of me. Fill us with your power, live inside of me.
So again, welcome everybody. And I'd like to welcome others who are joining us on TV at this time. We're so glad you're with us, and we invite you to come and join us. We're here every Sunday at 401 East Arrowwood Road. We'll be glad to see you anytime you could come.
Well, I have the privilege of introducing my dear friend and colleague, Mandy Epley, today. Mandy and I have known each other, I think, for about 20 years now. We journeyed together in the group that Chris Saadi led for many years, and then 4 years ago, we co-founded The Respite together. And Mandy has been in private practice for over 22 years now, and is truly one of the most heartfelt people that I know, and I'm so happy that she's in my life. So, Mandy Epley.
I haven't seen it yet, but we are in the Observer today talking about our organization and our upcoming event that I'm going to be telling you about today. But before I speak about that, I want to thank you again, Nancy, for your servant heart and your this bold spirit that lives in your tiny little body. Yeah. So I am always so honored to come speak to you all. It's such a joy to come speak to a community of heart-open people that you know you don't have to censor your passion, that you know that you're sitting in a room of individuals who have open hearts and who are seeking the divine and seeking peace and seeking justice. That's not a common thing. We don't get to sit in a room of people every day that are so passionately committed to those higher ideals and those important ethical values. So on behalf of myself and Cindy, we're so grateful that we can come and tell you about our work and what we're doing. So we launched The Respite 4 years ago, and we are a nonprofit. The Respite is Center for Grief and Hope. And our work is about transformation. Our work is about helping people find hope and rebuild their lives. Our work is really about creating a space in the Carolinas and through time in cyberspace on the internet that honors our full human journey. We're not happy all the time. We haven't had success every moment. We've had a lot of heartbreak. We've had a lot of suffering. You know, we become who we are through our losses. And that is as important as the joy in our lives. And so for me, co-founding The Respite was very much about wanting to create a space in the Southeast that says we honor the fullness of our humanity, our whole story, that we don't have to pretend or hide or tuck it away and pretend like everything's grand. Because really hard things happen in life, sad things happen in life, losses happen. That is a part of who we are. And I know that we don't, in our modern day American culture, that's not reflected back to us very much. What's reflected to us is how we must be happy, 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 happy. And I love being happy. Who doesn't want to be happy? Of course, we want joy. Of course, we want to celebrate. And there's this true piece of our journey of loss that we desire to honor and to celebrate. And we do that by a variety of modalities. We do traditional counseling and such, and then we have a variety of programs that we offer that are meant to support. And it's amazing the transformation that we witness in the people that walk through our doors and experience our programs. We have a variety of different programs, everything from body massage and grief work through support groups to yoga. It's all designed mind, body, spirit, and how to help empower us in our journey no matter what our losses are. So, having said that, we are a week from tomorrow, Monday, June 22nd, we are a 501c3. We don't yet have our one philanthropist, but they're on their way. I know it. I just know it. So we have an event called the Butterfly Launch. It's our second annual Butterfly Launch, and it's such an amazing experience. Last year we had a group of 40 people gather, and we had been, of course, Cindy created this beautiful meditation that we said week after week at our staff meeting, inviting these spirits and human beings to come and manifest this event, to welcome people, to honor their loved ones. So, for example, my mom told me yesterday, which of course made me very happy, that she's going to purchase butterflies in honor of her grandchildren. So this is something where you can support our work for a donation of $25, and you can honor a beloved perhaps that has died and gone on to the next dimension. Won't that be amazing, whatever that's like? And it's also a way that you can honor someone that you cherish. Our work is so important, and what we're doing in healing hearts and supporting people in their journey matters so much. So I'm going to be standing out in the doorway once we close today, and I have flyers to pass out to tell you about our event. We'd love for you to come and join us next Monday evening and be a part of this incredible celebration. It's really amazing when you open up that box and those butterflies fly out in honor of celebrating life, our journey, justice, inclusion, solidarity, all these higher ideals that we're standing on to support our community and to support beautiful people like you. So I hope that every one of you will come and be a part of our event. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you so much, you all. Bless you very much. Oh, I'm going to call you up, Tom. So I get to introduce Tom Anthony, who is the director of the Institute for Life Leadership and Coaching. Tom is a dedicated, exuberant, loving man who has really committed his whole life to also these ideas of service and helping us all have open hearts and be empowered through tools. He's going to tell you about his work. But Tom is a dear brother and really one of the biggest hearts I know. Wouldn't you all agree? Welcome, Tom.
Seeing the sunshine is like seeing the little dog sleeping at my feet, like seeing an old friend after a very long time. Went outside, was greeted by a cloudy sky, was like waking up in a fog, like looking for something to make life mean something all the time, like looking for a song to sing to make someone smile, like always looking to help ease someone's mind, like looking to help others climb to the top of the rise, like I want to see the sun rising in the distance, like I want to see that simple sun shine in the sky, want to see the warmth, the shine, want to experience the love flowing through my heart, feel the tears drip down from my eyes, want to feel the love so big in my heart, want to feel that warmth, that oozing out, that no stopping the love flowing from my heart out into the divine sky. So today, I hope you feel like singing out loud, singing out strong, singing those feelings flowing through you, that joy from the sunrise, like tasting that clear water, like tell the tales of that water with the sunshine reflecting off of it, reflecting the divine love shine, like doing the divine service in action. That divine love shining, touching, spreading across the land.
People are gathering all around the globe. It's a grassroots movement like none we've Millions of people putting love into action, motivated by outrage and compassion. The great dream of the divine is taking hold, calling forth people passionate and bold to embrace a social cause and offer their service. This work for peace and justice is a new form of worship, a new wave of love and audacity. Hearts joined in solidarity. I'm talking about a second wave of spirituality, an evolutionary leap that's happening right now, right now, right now. Jesus and Mary and Mother Teresa, Thich Nhat Hanh, Gandhi, Dr. King, what do they teach us? That God is love and love is action. So put your feet on the ground and unleash your passion. Many social problems need to be solved, so find your greatest heartbreak and get yourself involved. Animal rights, protection of children, the ecology. Let's join the arising of millions, a new wave of love and audacity. Hearts joined in solidarity. I'm talking about a second wave of spirituality, an evolutionary leap that's happening right now. Is arising.
Will Wilberforce,
There's just no denying it.
Harriet Tubman,
It's gaining volume and force
Florence
throughout
Nightingale,
the east, west, south, and north.
Henri Dunant,
An eruption of divine love,
Joanna Macy,
more powerful than 10,000 suns.
the Dalai Lama,
It's an arising of epic magnitude.
Andrew
An
Harvey,
arising of epic magnitude.
Marie
An
Wright
arising
Edelman,
that includes me and you.
Aung San Suu Kyi,
We are standing right now at a historical junction. Will we choose transformation or self-destruction? Well, there's a tidal wave of people who are making a vow to put their love in action, and they're doing it now. So in your time of despair, when you're feeling all alone, make a choice and join this eruption of a soul. Then remember you're part of a worldwide movement for peace and justice and global inclusion. A new wave of love and audacity. Hearts joined in solidarity. I'm talking about a second wave of spirituality, an evolutionary leap that's happening. I'm talking about a new wave of love and audacity. Hearts joined in solidarity. I'm talking about a second wave of spirituality, an evolutionary leap that's happening right now. Thank you.
It's a story that took place in a church, and it seemed the congregation was dissatisfied with their minister. They were always talking about him behind his back and what he wasn't doing and how he didn't do, and finally they fired him. And they came together and they said, let's set up some interviews. It'll be easy to find a new minister after him. So they came together and they set up a lot of interviews of ministers to come and give a message and try out and see if he would fit with the congregation. Well, they came, and nobody liked any of them. There was one left, and he came, got up to give his interview message, And he talked about love, and he talked about peace, he talked about joy, and he talked about the need to stop complaining. Well, the people loved that. They were so inspired, they were all standing up giving him a standing ovation. They went outside and they hired him. So the word spread that this church had a new minister. He was really dynamic. So on his first Sunday, the church was filled full. He got up to give his message and talked about love, and he talked about peace, and he talked about joy, and he talked about how we need to stop complaining. Well, the church members were kind of rolling their eyes at each other, wondering why he gave the same message again. But the other people didn't know that. So the next Sunday, there was standing room only in that church. He got up to give his message, and he talked about love, and he talked about peace, he talked about joy, and he talked about the need to stop complaining. Well, the people talked about him that week. They said, he's no better than the first minister, what happened? And sure enough, on the next Sunday, the attendance had gone down. People weren't coming, and he got up to give his message. He talked about love, he talked about peace, he talked about joy, and he talked about the need to stop complaining. So afterwards, the trustees came up and took him by the arm and said, let's go to the conference room. There's people there that want to talk to you. So they took him to the conference room, and they sat him down, and he looked out, and half the congregation was sitting there waiting for him. And the trustee said to him, what in the world is the matter with you? He said, you're no better than our first minister. You came here and gave a wonderful talk, and we loved it, and we were so inspired. Then every week you give the same talk. What's going on, buddy? He said, do you have another talk? Is that it? You don't have another talk? And the minister said, yeah, I have another talk. And the trustee stood up and he said, well, why don't you give it? He said, why should I? You haven't learned the first one. I told the story because it's kind of funny. And it's always good to laugh. I also told the story because it has a powerful message for this Surge Sunday. And it prepares the way for me to repeat a couple things that I talked about in the contemplative portion of the service last week. I wanted to bring two ideas back today, and I thought, well, I'll just set the stage for that. It's not that I don't have another message. And it's not that you didn't get it. It's that I want to expand on these two ideas because they're so important, if not vital, to these times that we're living in. And we are called to live them. So I thought I'll bring them back. We'll talk a little bit about them again. So our message this morning is about the dream and the dreamer, and it calls us to unite. Dreamers unite is the core of our message. You know, we usually think of dreaming as something we do at night, right? We can also do it during the day. We could do it right here. We just kind of go to the dream world. It's always there waiting for us. So we can dream anytime, but we often think of dream as a vision. We have a vision here at Unity of Charlotte, and that's to co-create a better world, a world that works for all. It's a dream, but it's also a vision. So a dream can be a vision, and it's like something that we hold in our imagination. So when we look at the dream, we could realize that we each have a dream in our own heart. It could be a goal, it could be a purpose, it could be a calling, but it's something we came here with that wants to fulfill its life through us. So Unity as a movement started with a dream. You know, we know a lot about Myrtle Fillmore and her part in her discovery, but actually it started with a dream. And we don't know a lot about that dream, and maybe we don't know who the dreamer is. So Myrtle Fillmore's discovery was healing herself, her physical body, through speaking words of love to the tissues and cells and organs over and over until they responded, and the healing power of love awoke in her, and it healed her body. So the dream is about a real estate transaction. The dream that started Unity was about a real estate transaction, and the dreamer was Charles Fillmore. Charles was very skeptical by nature, and he admitted that himself. He said that back in the late 1800s, when all this was taking place, he liked to ridicule some of these new ideas that were coming in about new thought and our connection to God and our relationship with God. He just said, there's so many ideas coming in here that I'm going to try them out, and if they don't work, this whole thing is a fraud, and I'm no part of it. So how would he do that, he thought? He thought, well, he would just get quiet. He would do it consistently for every day, maybe an hour or so. He'd go into his office, shut the door, and wait for God to come to him. He said, I didn't do this with any enthusiasm. I had no desire. This was a cold, calculating business deal between me and God. So nothing happened for a long time, but he kept it up. And what began to happen, Charles began to have some exceedingly prophetic dreams. They were visual dreams that were really big dreams that told him about things. He ignored them because he had this real estate business that he was running. So one day he did a closing on a house, and the whole transaction was done. And suddenly he remembered that he had had a dream about that transaction exactly as it happened about a week before. And then he knew what was happening. He said, I found that a wider intelligence was working through me when I was sleeping. He began to feel like he was the prophets of the Old Testament, that these dreams were coming to him and telling him what to do. And he began to sort those out from the, everyday dreams we have. But the prophetic dreams, he could realize now what they were. And he began to follow them. And so his dreams that he went through brought him into this connection with God he was seeking. So in his dreams, he would see things that would happen, or he would get a message of what to do. One of his early messages was to stay in Kansas City, and the dream told him, I have important work for you to do. That was to found Unity. And he followed that dream, and because of him, and he had the dream and he was a dreamer, and he followed the dream, we are here today. So he brings us a message about our dreams today. A message from long ago that we can apply to our dreams today. He said, you cannot only dream, you must act. He said, the world is filled with original dreamers. They have ideas beyond expression and do not ever bring them into action. So he went on to say, if we have a dream, we must form it into something, a living experience, and breathe the life of God into our dream for the fulfillment in our world. He said we must give it form by infusing it with our faith. And that's what he did, and that's how Unity started. So even though Webster defines a dreamer as someone who lives in fantasy and imagination, Charles Fillmore is telling us today that we must have absolute faith in the revolutions of our dreams that are prophetic, and we must follow them fearlessly like he did. So we can't just dream. What he's doing is calling us into the action of our dream. And today, as Mandy was talking, I was thinking about the first time I heard her talk about her dream for a center and how that has come true. And Barry, the first time we got together and talked about your dream for a surge service, and look how many of those we have had. And the first time I heard Cindy sing, and I thought, could she sing at Unity of Charlotte? And she's been here ever since. And the first time I found Tom's poems, and every week he sends poems and they come every day. I can't wait for his poems to come. He's a poet and he's fulfilled his dream in such wondrous ways that help us all. So you think of those things and the people who did it. We think of Martin Luther King, don't we, when we think of dream. He had a dream and he had a dream speech. But towards the end of his life, he said, I couldn't fulfill my dream because of the sickness of the society and the apathy of the people. I think what Charles would want us to know today is we can't do that anymore. It is time for us to come together with our dreams and unite as dreamers. For after all, we are right here in a place called Unity that Charles Fillmore gave us the name to represent our oneness. We call ourselves a practical, progressive Christianity. And we say that we follow the teachings of Jesus and his commandments. I think we are the ones that can be the dreamers that unite for God's dream of the world, that world that works for all. So if we are going to unite as dreamers, what do we need to do? I will say 5 things. Wake up, give up, turn up, show up, and stand up. We can all do that, right? There is a great spiritual awakening that's happening across our land. We see it in so many ways. We are being called to wake up. But not just about waking up, it's about how we wake up and when we wake up. Unity's stated purpose is this: to awaken people to the love that is the truth of their being and help them discover and live true to this mighty purpose and power. And there's someone named Jessamy West, I don't know the person, but what he said, if you wake the sleeper and you do not wake the sleeper to love, you have wakened the sleeper in vain. So wake up then is a call to wake up the heart and our love of God that is in our heart. And it's also a call to the idea I talked about last week. You know, I talked about how we hear this little saying, we are spiritual beings, and we know that. We have the Spirit of God within us. And we're in a human experience, and we certainly know that. But we forget this last part. The last part. We're here for a sacred purpose. So 3-part saying, we're spiritual beings having a human experience, and we're here for a sacred purpose. And that sacred purpose is to be the expression of God's love on this earth. That's part of God's dream too. So dreamers, unite then and wake up. And after you wake up, get up. Get up and see what's happening in our world. You know, we cannot open to the creativity that we need for the solutions of the things that are going on in our world, the challenges that we have to face. We can't do that without looking truthfully and fearlessly in what's going on in our world. We have to see what is going on before we can work for a betterment of that predicament. So we get up and we take a look at it and we see what's going on while we hold the dream and the vision of a better world. They go together. It's not one or the other. They fit together. So we get up. And a person I think of that really wanted us to do this was George Bostic. He wanted us to see how bad the world was, and he had movies one Friday night a month with popcorn to bring the people who didn't want to come to the movie. We looked at some hard things and some hard issues, but we saw what was going on in the world and saw ways we could work for a better world. So we can't do the third service without thinking about George and his sacred activism. I mean, he was an activist at heart, and he let everybody in the world know it. So Bob Sokol, has made something in his memory. We wanted to have an award or something, a recognition more would be the right word, for the work that is done by sacred activism for a whole year. So he made this beautiful, beautiful carving. Bob Sokol made this carving himself in honor of George and as a memory. And then we're going to pass this on to the sacred activist of the year. Thank you, Bob. It is beautiful. And we have a beautiful tree on the front lawn in George's memory. He did so much to remind us it's time to get up and see what's going on in our world. So the dreamers unite then and turn up. What we're going to do is turn up our passion for justice. Turn up our passion for solidarity, for equality, for sacred rights, for food and breads and homes for every person in the world. Get the passion going, because the passion is our fuel and it calls us to action, and that's where we act from. From our passion for really what breaks our heart is what we break through to really help in that area. So we want to turn up our passion. Here's what George Bernard Shaw said about that. He said, "Life is not a brief candle. It is a splendid torch that I want to make as bright as I can before handing it on to the next generation." So we want to turn up that fire within us, and we want to keep that fire burning so that we can be the ones that work for the better world from that place of love and fire within us to do that. So this then is the fourth call to unite. and that is to show up. Here comes the second idea from last Sunday that I'm bringing from this story. The fourth one then calls us to show up. To show up as the most loving person we can be. After all, God is love, and when we show up with our words and our actions of love, people will know what God is like, and we'll be contributing to that better world. So we're called to show up as the expression of love. That is our sacred purpose. And to contribute to the world from this place of love. We are called then also to stand up. To stand up for what we believe and work together for that dream we believe in. And make love the real work of our life. Work together as if the world depends on it. Do it with the realization now that all true spirituality is love in action. So that's the four-part saying right there that I want to bring back. First of all is to realize true spirituality is love in action. Second then is to become the most loving person we can be. And then work together as if the world depends on us sharing our love, because it does. So I wanted to bring that back because it helps us remember how to come together and what we're doing and where we're going together. It's been said, what else, after all, are we going to do with our short, wondrous life that could possibly be more important than transforming ourselves, molecule by molecule, into the experience and expression of pure love? So here is our call to action then. Call to action is to wake up. Wake up to the power of love. Wake up our heart if it's been sleeping. Open it up and bring that love forth. Get up and become aware of what's going on in our world. Find our own place to serve in our world to make things better. It can be the smallest little thing. It could be a place where every day you send a smile to somebody or a kind word to somebody. Then turn up our passion for justice and equality and that better world. Show up as the most loving person we can be, and then stand up for what we believe and work together for this belief to bring forth that mighty power of love. So I'm going to leave you this morning with a challenge and a blessing. The challenge comes in the form of a question. Question I've been wondering. Could we, as a spiritual community, let our vision of co-creating a better world for all be our mission? Take that statement at the level of a mission that calls us to action. Not just be dreamers about this better world, but hear that as our call to a mission. A big, bold mission that we could stand up for, to be that love in action in the world wherever we go and wherever Spirit is leading us to go. Could we do that? I don't know. I'll leave you with that challenge. But we can all receive the blessing this morning. So ready for the blessing? May God give you the grace never to sell yourself short. The grace to work for something big, for something good. And the grace to risk to do that. And the grace to remember that the world is now too dangerous for anything but truth, and too small for anything but love. Thank you.
Great Spirit, grant me vision that I may not go wrong. Find myself in a prison of the things I have not done.
Teach me the secret, clear my eyes that I may see. Fill my heart with compassion to love my enemy. The winds of
longer. Father Sky will love her well. Make me worthy of a vision that no human tongue may tell.
Make me wise to learn the lessons. Make me strong to understand what it takes to walk in beauty as I cross this sacred land. The winds of life blow in four directions. The sacred waters flow to the sea. The eagle flies as high as any mountain. Oh, Great Spirit, keep us free. Oh, Great Spirit, keep us free. Oh, Great Spirit, keep us free.
Wallet in your pocket, no cost for admission. Out here Jesus is a resident physician, don't you know? Out on God's road, I said on God's road. Well, the road to hell is paved with good intentions now. Winds and it curves and you better pay attention now. There's a lot of competition. Hungry folks from soul malnutrition, don't you know? Out on God's road, I said on God's road. Well, pump it up, gas it up, go with the flow. Post up a sign, here's this 30 kilo. Jack it up, back it up, and don't pass go. Up ahead, just another crossroad on God's road. I said on God's road. Hear that electric guitar over there. Pump it up, gas it up, go with the flow. And hold up a sign, no heavy burden feet. Jack it up, don't back it up, and don't pass go. Up ahead, just another crossroad on God's road. I'm talking about a God's road. Whoa, now get on the road. On God's road. You better hear what I'm saying now. Get on the road. On God's road. Here's the song I'm playing now. Get on the road. On God's road. With no left or right. Get on the road. On God's road. But don't stop that. Get on the road. On God's road. But don't give up your lane. Get on the road. On God's road. All we roads ain't the same. Now get on the road. On God's road. Now the direction's here. Get on the road. On God's road. There ain't no math quest needed here. Get on the road. On God's road. milk and honey, now get on the road. On God's road. You don't need no money now, get on the road. On God's road. I hear what I'm saying now, get on the road. On God's road. Here's a song I'm playing now, get on the road. On God's road. No lefts or rights, get on the road. On God's road. When don't stop at the light now, get on the road. On God's road. Don't you give up your lane, get on the road. On God's road. All these roads ain't the same, get on the road. On God's road. The direction here, get on the road. On God's road. No matter here, get on the road. On God's road. Milk and honey, now get on the road. On God's road. Hey, you don't need no money out on God's road. I said on God's road. I said on God's road. On God's road.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
God bless. Have a wonderful week.